Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our IIoT Masterclass. The main theme today will be Connected Solutions for Standalone Machines, a journey to digital transformation. My name is Manon Gatelier, and I'm in charge of marketing and communication for IIoThink Solutions, and I'll be your moderator for today. So we are just waiting a few, maybe just 1 minute, so we get more participants. We know that sometimes people tend to be a bit late, and we'll just follow up shortly. All right, so welcome to the new participants. Before we kick off with our presentation regarding connected solutions for standalone machines, I would like to ask you guys to answer a couple of questions. So I'm just going to pull a survey here, and you'll have a few seconds to answer those two questions. So normally it should pop up on your screen, but you can also click on live view so you can see the question. So the first question I would like to ask you guys is, are you already using E1 from HMS for remote access? If not, do you have another remote access solution in place? So I give you a few seconds to answer this question, and then we'll switch on to the next one. All right, second question is, are you already using an IIoT platform? If yes, what type of solution? So just let us know if you're already familiar with this type of solution. And I'll give you a few seconds again to answer this. All right, I think we're all good here. So we are gonna move on and go to the introduction of our speakers for today. So our three speakers for today will be Horst Lange. He is from HMS Industrial Networks, located in Germany. He's the manager focused on IIoT strategy and alliances for continental Europe. We'll have also Julien Dalmasso, who is the CEO and founder of IIoThink Solution, and Christophe Brewers from Arxom Automation. He's the sales manager based in the Benelux in Belgium. So here is Horst Lange. Hi, Horst. Good morning.
Good morning, Manon. Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me well. Okay, so I'm going to start the first part. I said, welcome. The webinar is about the partnership between IIoThink Solutions and HMS Networks. It's really working for many years, very great, and it's time really to tell the market what we can do together. So let me start with some key facts about HMS Networks. Maybe some of you know, maybe some of you don't. Say we are founded in 1988, so a long time around, 600 employees, headquartered in Sweden, listed on the stock market. And we have more than 7 million products installed already, operations worldwide in 16 countries. We have a very strong distribution focus, where you see our distributor Arxom with Christophe today is in the call. There's a good reason, because they do very good business with us. And I am a part of the European Sales and Support Center market unit in Germany. So we are responsible for the German-speaking countries, for Italy, France, and Iberia, and part of East Europe. My responsibility is, we call it a solution partner program. It's a worldwide program running by Sweden, and I'm owning it for the market unit in Central Europe. And I work very closely with my colleague Davor. Netherlands belongs to the market unit North. However, in this area, we work very close together. So what we are doing, maybe not all people know HMS as a name, but you may know all our brands, especially Anybus. This is a brand we started with in 1988. This is the products, we call them gateways. We do the communication inside the machine. And then our friends from Intesis, since many years in the company, we integrated them officially this year, and they are specialists in building automation. This is also a product line where our partner IIoThink is looking into it and integrate in their solution as well. Then we have our friends from IXAT in Germany. They specialized on CAN communication, especially for automotive and safety solution. And the solution we're talking about today is the Evon brand, which is mostly known for remote access. Many of you use it or know it already. So what we are doing, let's focus on Industry 4.0 scenarios, is the connected machine. That's how we call it. So HMS is a specialist of communication inside the machine. That means Industry 4.0 inside the machine. So we are connecting, or we'll be able to translate all the different field bus protocols. We have this well-known own design chip. We call it NP40. And what we are talking about today is that we not do only the communication inside the machine, we also very, very focused on the communication outside the machine through the internet to connect machines in the world. We on the forehand of technology, so we are developing right now 5G industrial hardware. We have these nice wireless boat and wireless bridge. So we have LTE-M and narrowband IoT. So there's a lot of fancy things we do from technology-wise. So let's take a quick look about our strategy. HMS, the name HMS is the name of the founders. Today we say HMS, hardware meets software. So we understand ourselves as the interface between OT. These are all the brownfield and greenfield installation. Today we will focus a little bit on the brownfield retrofit scenarios. And we have a lot of industrial hardware connecting IT to OT. And at the end, it will all end up in a global IoT platform. That's the way it will go. And you see the market movers at the top. For sure, number one is Microsoft Azure. We have also a partnership with ThingWorx, PTC, AWS, MindSphere in Germany especially, and in Europe, Cumulocity. But most companies do not develop natively on these global IoT platforms. You need to have a ready-made solution. And that's why we have this solution partner program, where IIoThink is a very important part of it. They all together provide special solution, a special vertical application, etc. You will learn about what IIoThink can do for you. And I also emphasize all the partners to work together. These guys, for example, are pure data analysts, and OSIsoft, for example, they are very specialized on processing data. So time series database is something you may have heard about. So if you take a look at HMS networks and IIoThink solutions in the IoT maturity, I think it's very important to understand where our place is and where you are. Let's take a look from a machine builder view. The start is at the top. And the first thing you have to do if your machines are somewhere in the world, if you would like to collect the data, or if you like to help the customer if there's a problem, you need a kind of remote access. In the past, this was modem, point-to-point, not secure, etc. But this is history. Today, normally companies have a remote service platform. That's what Evon is providing. Brilliant. So you address the cybersecurity issues. You'll be able to do remote data, and of course, to organize your machines and all your users. And the next step is monitoring. monitoring, KPI monitoring at the edge, at the machine. Yeah? And that's where the interest between the machine builder and his customer, the factory owners, come together. Because it's a big value for the factory owner also to monitor and to see what his machine is doing. And then next step, to connect them to their own digitalization strategy. So you have the strategy of the machine builder, and his customer is the factory owner. And on the right side, I would say from 1 o'clock up to 1 o'clock up to 7 o'clock is where Emon and HMS can help a lot in this area. Next step is, everybody is talking about data analytics, visualization, predictive maintenance, condition monitoring. These are the applications driving the companies moving forward. To do that, you need data. You need a data infrastructure. You need to store data. You need to understand your data. Some people call it also big data. And what you really would like to have, or what you need, is an IoT business model. For an IoT business model, you need to have an IoT platform or a solution to make value out of your data. And on this area is where IoThink can help very, very well. So they most likely being able to help you out from here, let's say 5 o'clock until 11 o'clock. This is where they're very good at. So we get the data from the machine, and IoThink is making money out of the data. I would say that's a good explanation. If you look at the sections, you can look at yourself. What are you doing in this section? Have you understood what's needed? Have you planned to do something about it? You already started a pilot, or at the best, you have contracts and SLAs and a clear business model. Just check it for yourself where you think you are or your customers are. What is the task we have to solve? We call it smart connected products machines. Smart connected products is something PTC is using. Products is your assets somewhere in the world you need to have to connect, and smart connected machines is more for the end user domain. Why are you doing that? You need to get all the data into your home, your database, from a machine builder view, and why this is very obviously reduce downtime of the machine, optimize the production, get better quality, etc., save money. I think we all agree on it. This is a task we have to solve. What are the challenges? Let's take a look at the brownfield installation. If you do a new installation, I would say a complete new machine, technically there's almost everything possible today. But the biggest numbers of machines already in the field are your retrofit or your brownfield installation. And many of them are not connected today. So what are the challenges? So the challenge number one is the machines are distributed somewhere around the world. And some of them are not accessible, some are apparently, but it's not organized. That means existing remote connections, for example, modem connection or point-to-point connection, are not standardized, they're not data capable, and they're not extensible. And the data collection has never been planned in the past. So older PLCs do not provide an up-to-date connectivity, or they do not meet required security features. And another point is that a new project engineering for a plant is not possible, or too expensive, or too complex, and you don't have qualified staff on site. And these are the reasons why many companies struggle and don't consider to connect their legacy machines. But there's a solution. Out of the challenges, you see the requirements. So you need to have, for retrofitting, an out-of-the-box solution, easy plug and play, being able to do data collection. It has to be a flexible and easy commissioning on site, or you can do also remote, pre-configured, local, no PC necessary, or you have to do it remotely. Then it has to comply, very important, with modern security requirements. It has interfaces to support the protocols for common PLC, also for very old PLCs, let's say Siemens S5, you need maybe an MPI interface. That's why the Flexi is called Flexi. We have interface cards or extension cards. Depending on the connectivity you node, you slide in the required extension card. You have intelligent local data collection, and you don't need to reprogram the system. Very important. So we pull the data from the programming interface, no need to reopen the project. We can do local buffering, which is needed. We can process the data at the edge and the connection and the local level and any cloud platform. That means, for example, if your customer, who is the factory owner, has a digitalization strategy, you can provide the data from your machine very easy on site using, for example, OPC-UA. Okay, if you look even in the context of IoT, many and most of you know already EVON as a remote service platform, the global and scalable VPN service. I think you know it. Important, if you relay your business models on it, you need to have an SLA, so we can provide an SLA. So it takes away a lot of headaches and problems for you because it's just existing, working, and certified. If you take a look at it, Talk to M is a proven success. It's a de facto standard in most factories. So there's a very high possibility for any kind of factory owners, if they walk through their production, that there are machines already connected with EVON. Today, it's 300,000 connected machines today, which is a really high number. And we have a system worldwide. Every dot does represent an installation. You see, we form the world. So let's take a quick look how it works technically. Say, I leave out here the remote access and the on-premise data monitoring. Take a look at the data collection capability. If you take a look at the left, right, you see we pull the data from the machine. We also been able to collect the data from the network behind the EVON. So we collected the data. And then we have several possibilities to provide the data. So it's direct connection, like sensor to the cloud in one direction using HTTPS, MQTT, REST API. And there are the Talk to M APIs. And this is also used by IoThink. That means for the APIs, you're being able to read live data. You also be able to do, how we call this, remote control or telecontrol. And it supports all kind of installation on-prem, cloud, pure cloud, or hybrid installation. All is possible. The VPN is already integrated. Don't forget it. Many platforms forget to have the remote, because if you would like to program your PLC, you need to have a VPN connection. And the benefits are scalability, no data loss, and very easy configuration. So let's take a look from a different angle. We call it, it's a EVON added value pyramid that shows how we separate our task, what our shared task here is. Say, what EVON does for you, the Flexi, is we do the connection at the local level, at the LAN port. We do this network segregation. We make sure you can access the machine VPN or HTTPS. We support, I would say, easy monitoring. This is the first step into IoT, to do more monitoring on site. And we have tools to collect data. And IoThink, they integrate the data, they can collect the data as well, and they also have monitoring. So as we see in IoT, there's always an overlap. And if you integrate to each other, everybody can provide where they are good at. And don't forget, secure remote access is included. And you need to have SLAs if you have a constantly data and if you rely your business model on data. And don't forget, security is a top priority. Okay, the key selling points, the flexible connectivity, so LAN, cellular, and Wi-Fi. To understand, say, cellular or Wi-Fi is really increasing. I think more than 30% of our installations is now with LTE or cellular, which is increasing. And you just select the I/O card you need, depending on the area where you are. We support all major protocols for data acquisition, so we have drivers for all these protocols. And if not, Modbus is always working. We can read and log data from PLCs and sensors. We do local data buffering for 1 million points. That means you collect the data locally, and then you connect and get the data wherever you want for historical data. And very important, no need to stop the PLC or reprogram it. No change running system. It's just working and very easy. And don't forget, VPN is included. At the very end, I have to say a word about security, because security is very crucial because of the acceptance of the users. So how does it work? It's a security by design. If you look at all the different institutions, I would say like IEC 62443 recommendation, NIST recommendation. We also provide recommendations how to make it secure. So you need to have a dedicated VPN client router. That's what we have with the Flexi. And you have we call it rendezvous server. The Microsoft was saying it's a broker. That means we add an extra layer of security that only encrypted authenticated traffic is allowed. And it's ISO 27001 certified. That's very important to know because the service is not visible in the internet. You can't hack it because first you need to log in the system and you need to authenticate yourself, two-factor authentication. All these things are here, and then you can establish the connection. So it's very important that you meet all these security things. Yes, and that's from my side. And I hand over to my friends, Massimiliano and later on Christoph. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Horst, for your intervention. Before we move on to the next part of our presentation, I would like to ask you all to fill out the survey. So we have 4 questions here that you should see directly on your screen. It should pop up. So the first question is, what is your level of maturity in IIoT and M2M, machine to machine? You have 4 answers, which are, I've just started to think about it. I'm already looking for a partner. I've already started with a POC, or I'm already deploying an IIoT M2M project. I give you a few seconds to answer this, and then we'll move on to the next question. Next question. What is the biggest issue you are currently facing? For those of you who are thinking about starting with an M2M or an IIoT project, you have 5 answers here. I need to find the right business model. I'm struggling to calculate my return on investment. I need to find the right partner. Time is key. I don't know how to bring a solution to the market quickly, or else I have a security concern. All good. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 3. What type of professional are you? Are you a machine builder? Are you a service contractor? Are you a system integrator? Do you work for a rental company? Are you a machine reseller? Or another type of professional? For example, IoT consultant, industrial expert. So you have a few seconds again to answer this. And then we'll move on to the last question. Apologize for this. So last question, when would you like to be contacted back to discuss your project or for any assistance you may have? You have 3 options here: immediately, by the next 3 months, or by the next 6 months. All right, I think we're all good here. Just don't hesitate about the chat. You may ask any question you have, or if you need additional information, you may use the chat as well. All the questions will be answered at the very end of this presentation, so don't worry, just type in your question and we'll look after them at the end of the presentation. And we are gonna move on to the content of the presentation related to the IIoT platform, and I'm gonna pass on the microphone to Christoph Brewers and Julien Dalmasso.
Thank you, Manon. Thank you, Manon. And good morning, everyone. I'm very glad to be here today with our partners, HMS and Axum. I'm Julien Dalmasso, the CEO of IoThink Solution. IIoThink is a French company specialized in IoT platform, and we have offered since 2016 Keyron IoT suite I'm going to present to you. We have a strong experience in HVAC industry, energy and building. And we have used E1 for 14 years, so we know very well the product and the capabilities of E1. Oops, sorry. Christophe.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Christophe Brouwers. I'm working for the company Arxam Automation as a sales manager. We are a certified E1 integrator and also an integrator and distributor for the Keyron service platform in the Benelux. We have an high expertise in programming, configuration of IoT devices and IoT gateways, and of course, implementing the Keyron service platform. Back to you, Julien.
Thank you, Christophe. So, first of all, before starting a machine-to-machine project, you have to think about what are my goals? What I would like to do with my machines? And we ask this question to several customers, and the answers are these ones. The first one is to increase revenues by, for example, launching new service offers or new products. Enables new types of business models, new revenue streams, generate induced sales, for example. The second one was to enhance maintenance to improve quality, for example, by reducing maintenance cost, of course, to make preventive or predictive maintenance, to improve quality of service, to increase availability rate of the machines. The third one was productivity. For example, it could be a new way of working, to save time for teams to focus efforts elsewhere, help you be better informed and make better business decisions. And the last one, not the last, but the fourth one, is branding. For example, enhance brand image, increase customer satisfaction, stand out from competitors, improve visibility in the market. So that is the question you must have. What do you want to do thanks to a machine-to-machine solution?
Thank you, Julien. So by starting a digital journey, you're going to look at an M2M solution, and an M2M solution, like, for example, using an E1 Flexing in combination with the Keyron platform, gives you some capabilities. And if you take a look at those capabilities, you can say, first of all, of course, we can make a remote connection to our installations, like we are connected locally, and we can do some upload, download of firmwares. We can do a remote control, so it means we can read and write some parameters at distance. This can we do by E1 and, of course, through the Keyron platform. We can also do a follow-up of the installations. So real-time monitoring, we can see how the process is working. Also, this we can do in the Keyron platform. We can start up by collecting data, maybe in the first place, just collecting data and putting them in a database, but later on we can use those data also to do some analytics. Also, this we can do, of course, in the Keyron platform. Very important for most machine builders or service people are that the machines has to be connected worldwide. And with an E1 solution, of course, you have this. You can connect cellular, you can connect by WAN or Wi-Fi. And like Horst already said in the beginning, the security is very important. And in all those cases, we're going to use a secure connection, or it will be by VPN, or we will put a secure layer on the communication like HTTPS or MQTTS. Okay, if we take a look at the M2M market where we are putting our solution with E1 in combination with the Keyron platform, and we take a look at those markets, we have several markets where we are working on. First market is the HVAC market. You think about chillers, think about heat pumps. We're also working in an energy market, thinking about power generators or just following up consumption in electro cabinets. Of course, those two are coming back also in the rental area, but also cranes, pumps there are very interested to have a follow-up of their system. Waste management, think about compactors. We have a nice case about this later on. Packaging, printing machines, retail sector. Retail, of course, is very important because most service contractors there are following up the systems. Think about fridges in stores. Of course, we have also special machines. In general, you can say all machine builders can work with an M2M solution. This can be, for example, filtering machines or laser machines. It can be quite different. And we have also in infra, we have some applications. Think about tunnels, think about bridges or train stations, metro stations. Of course, it doesn't stop there. I think for a lot of applications, we can work with a solution with an IoT gateway in combination with the Kion platform. Give back the word to Julien.
Thank you, Christophe. Okay, so we think and we saw that there are generally 4 levels of needs depending on your IoT maturity and knowledges. This is a pyramid of needs. You can see the first level, it's generally to collect and log data, to monitor your machines, to be alerted when there is a fault. That's enough to start. The second step is to have a remote control on your machines to change some parameters, to tune your machine's operation. For some use cases and moving machines, it could be interesting to know the geolocation in real time. Where is my machine? The next step, when you have enough data and knowledge about your machines, you can start thinking to reach another step. And sometimes you need to optimize the operation of your machines, to make preventive maintenance, to avoid failure, and to have a better organization for maintenance operation. And the last step is to work on machine learning application to make this time predictive maintenance. It means trying to know when the machine can have a failure regarding its operation during the last hours, days, or weeks. And whatever the level you are, you need to have a secure end-to-end solution, scalable solution, interoperable solution, etc., etc. So now let's have a focus on the integration between HMS and E1 cloud solution and Keron. So when you launch a machine-to-machine project, you need to take into account about 3 steps. The first one is to collect data from your machines, to connect your machines through gateways, and to monitor your machines and data. And to provide a secure end-to-end solution, we made the integration between Talk2M and Keron. So you can see on the left several types of E1 connectivities thanks to extension cards. E1 are connected on Talk2M to have remote access. And in Keron, we use 2 APIs. The first one is Data Mailbox API. It's very useful to collect historical data from your machines. And then we can display trends, generate reports, export data, etc., etc. The second one is M2M API to have a real-time overview of your machines and to, for example, send some remote command on your machine to control your machine remotely. And of course, you can use, if you want, MQTT directly inside E1 to have the same feature in real time. And we also integrated HMS Hub very soon to connect the full range of HMS products in Keron. For example, Intesis for buildings applications, Enebus for industrial purpose, for example. So now let's have a focus on the interoperability of Keron and the process to the workflow to deploy an end-to-end solution on Keron. It's quite easy. So the first step on Keyron, you just have to select which endpoint. So you will see that we have several endpoints available in Keyron. The first one is Talk2M, of course. So just select Talk2M in the library. The second step is to select which decoder you want to use for your machine. It means that the list of tags you want to collect from your machines through E1s. The third step is to select which digital twins, including the dashboard, the behavior of your machine, and a lot of features. So it's quite easy. In few clicks, you can deploy an end-to-end solution. Select your endpoint, your decoder, and your digital twins. And of course, there is some interfaces like REST API if you want to connect to a third-party application. And what is interesting in Keyron is that you can see all endpoints and decoders and digital twins available at this time. So we have more than 15 endpoints available, like network connectivity, like protocols, etc., etc. And we have more than 600 decoders, including in the platform for several kinds of devices. It could be LP1 devices, gateways, etc. And we have more than 100 public digital twins available for several use cases on the platform. And of course, what is interesting is that you can add your own decoders and your own digital twins. So you can create your private library of use cases in the platform. But we will see just after how to do this. Christophe, it's your turn.
Okay, thank you, Julien. Enough about theory. Let's take a look at some cases, real cases that we have done with Axom Automation in Belgium. The first case I want to discuss with you is Clayton. Clayton is a company that is specialized in production of steam generators. They have a production site in Belgium, but they have a global presence, and they have also a rental division. They came to us with a question to have a solution to have a follow-up of their installations worldwide and to do some diagnostics on faults and also improving their machines. Of course, also by following up, they want to avoid some traveling costs going on site when it's not necessary. Further on, they had a question from customers that would have like to have an insight in their machine data. So it means that on costs of rental division, for example. And also they asked us to have a solution that was white labeled, so with a solution that was in their own brand. What did we do? We put inside of the machines an E1 that is connected to an PLC. The E1 is collecting data and is pushing the data towards the Keyron platform. There we will do live monitoring of real-time data. We do some analytics about consumptions, and we can also do some analytics. Also, they can do from distance some changements in parameters, so they can also read and write towards the machines if it's necessary. Today, they are connecting now the first machines, and they are also creating new business models around the application. So they are using this also as a marketing tool. And we are working now on their own private label, so we are working on a branded solution for them. The second case is the case of Bulls. Bulls, probably most people know. Bulls is a company that are in the rental area. This part of Bulls is working in the power and HVAC area. So they are renting chillers, power generators. Their goal was to have an overview of all the installations they have put in place, to have a quick follow-up. Customers were asking them also after a rental period to have a kind of report how they have used the machines. And they want to have a remote connection towards the machine so they can do some changements from distance. Also here, the question was to have a brand of the application, so a white labeled solution. What did we do? We put, again, here also an E1 inside. The E1 is not connected to a PLC in this case. They are mostly connected to some kind of controllers like Dive or DeepSea, or in some cases also to very specific older installations. We collect all the data, we put the data inside of the Keyron Cloud, and from the Keyron Cloud, they have an overview of all the installations. They can create some reports towards the customers, but also for them, the reports are very interesting because they can see if the customers are using the installations correctly. Of course, they also avoid a lot of traveling costs by not going on site. For minor problems, they can solve this from distance. Today, they have about more than 120 machines that are connected. They can highly reduce the maintenance costs. And of course, they have a higher customer satisfaction because they can react quite fast. They are also now looking at other businesses in the rental areas to put in Keyron solution. A third case I want to talk about is AGK. AGK is a company that's a manufacturing of trailers and waste compactors for the recycling and transport market. They have also a rental division. They came to us with the question to have, first of all, an overview of all the installations where they were located, and also to have a indication of the status of the machines. So if they are in full or not, and that they could connect at distance towards the machines. Also, a question was to have the possibility to change some parameters from distance, because for each application, the parameters will be different for a compactor. Also here we put an E1 inside that is connected to a PLC. We read out the data, and in the platform, as you can see on the slide, we have an overview of all the installations with the color indication what's the status. And also we have a kind of bar where we can see the filling rate of the machines. They can change some parameters from the installation. So we have an overview in a map, but we can go more in detail for each compactor. So there we can see, for example, also some conditions of the compactor, and we can also see how the compactor was used in the past. Today they have about 70 compactors that are connected. The purpose is to connect every year the same amount of compactors. And also already inside of the company, because they started this journey of digitalization, more applications, they are looking at more applications with other machines and connect these to the platform too. Also, they had already some feedback from customers who are asking new features inside of the platform. So the satisfaction also here from customer side is quite high. Some other applications, just briefly to give you some insight of what we are doing with Keyron in combination with E1. So you can have also a kind of energy management, for example, just to have an overview of consumption, real-time data, but also historical data, generate a report from this towards the customer, for example. We have code generation applications where we are not only showing real-time and historical data, but also are calculating some efficiency for the customer. We have heat pump applications or refrigeration applications where the people or the customer do kind of follow-up of the installations. So mainly they are used to do service and to improve the machinery. Again, an application in energy management, also in cold chain. So for example, just to make sure that everything is working fine inside of a cold chain room, for example. Refrigerated containers. Nowadays, it can be very important, I think, with the COVID and the vaccines that has to be transported, that they can control these containers at distance and see what's happening inside of them and that everything is working fine or can react in time. Like I said before, the retail business is very important. Think about all the fridges that are used to cool foods. Also there, it's needed to have a follow-up and to make sure that everything is working fine. Other application, atomization machines. It's like machines that are sprinkling kind of water over vegetables and fruit. This is a nice application because in one shot you can see the real-time data, you can see some historical data, and you can also manage the machine at distance. Some special applications, like I said before, filtering machines. These are filtering units that are used in China, and they are following up the bearing temperatures from distance. Also in infra, an application in infra, for example, a tunnel where we will we control or we supervision the level of the water inside of the tunnels. And of course, water treatment is also an application where we can use the E1 and in combination with a carbon platform. Okay, these were some nice applications inside of the M2M solutions. If we take a look at the customers or the users of the platform, we can divide them in 4 categories. First of all, we have the machine builders. And if we look at the machine builders, what benefit they have from using an M2M solution, you can say, for example, they can improve quite easily the performance of their machines because they have data from their machines. They can go live and see how it's working. And in this way, they can improve quite easily their machines. They have also always a connection towards the machine, so they can do some, add some new features or put a new software inside. And of course, machine builders can create a kind of new business around their machines. Like I said, for Clayton, for example, they are putting new business models around their machines that they sell. Another kind of user are the service contractor companies. They, of course, they are not building the machines, but they have to make sure that they're working fine. So also here, they can increase quite easily the availability of the machines. They can react quite fast, so they can help customers very fast, and they can make sure that the machines stay up and working. Also, they avoid a lot of traveling costs here because sometimes there are minor problems that can be solved quite easily from distance. And also by putting those new businesses, they can make the difference with other competitors. Of course, you have also the field technicians, the maintenance people. They have the possibility with the platform to make some analytics about the machine or about the installations. So they can see what's happening in real time, but also they can have a look at historical data and see if the machine was working well, or maybe customers are not using the machine in the right way. Also here, of course, they can avoid a lot of traveling costs and they can do a lot on remote. Also, they can see, for example, before they go on site, which spare parts they have to take with them to make some modifications, for example. And finally, of course, you have the end customer or the facility manager or energy manager. They are not really interested in big technical information. They are more interested in to have some general information about the installations, about the machine. So if is everything working fine, and does my efficiency of my machines is good or not? And of course, they are interested if they buy a machine that machine builders or service contractors can react quite fast and make that the production keeps up and running. Okay, I give back the word to Julien, who will explain you a little bit more about the current solutions we provide.
Thank you, Christophe, and congrats for these very interesting use cases you have already deployed thanks to Iwan and Karen. So now we are going to talk about the Kern platform. So what is interesting in Kern, it's not only an IoT platform, but it's an IoT suite. Because inside this suite, you have a studio like this. And in this studio, thanks to this, you can create some mock-up, some proof of concept, or of course your final use cases. And inside the studio, you have libraries of devices already decoded in the platform, a public library of use cases on the shelves, and as a system integrator, you can create your private library of use cases you want to deploy and you want to customize for your end customer. So this is the studio. The second step, after building and designing the use cases, you have to deploy on the IoT platform. So we have KSP web and mobile, useful to manage your fleet of gateways and devices. You can see and manage all your users, notifications, etc., etc. So this is an all-in-one monitoring solution. So we call it an IoT suite. So let's have a focus on the studio. So inside the studio, I have told you before, you have access to a public library of devices. At this time, we have more than 600 devices already compliant with the platform. So it's like a plug-and-play solution. If you are sourcing a device according to some needs, features, or connectivity, you can filter by brand, by connectivity, or by feature. So it's very useful, very easy, and you can find the right solution very quickly. You can add some devices if you want on your own, because there is a JavaScript editor, C# editor, so you can make some script just to decode the payload from the device and add in your private library. And if you are looking for a use case you want to deploy, but just to see in the library if it's already available or if you have to create from scratch, just have to have a look on the library and see if there is one on the shelves. This time we have 100, and we are adding every week and month new use cases in the library. So it's very easy to create a specific dashboard because you can use drag and drop features. You can select in the toolbox which element you want to display. For example, gauge, trends, synoptics, etc., etc. So there is no coding skills needed, but if you want to make some calculation because you are an expert and you want to make some specific dashboard and calculation, you can do on your own because you can add a specific script. What is interesting in the platform, it's KSP Web and Mobile is available in white label. So it's very, very useful if you want to sell new services under your own brand. So you can customize everything, your domain name, your logo, your dashboard, your landing page, your term of use, emails, etc., etc. Some example with Arxon, present today, and Bolts. We talked about Bolts just before. And of course, you can have the white label for the web app and the mobile app for iOS and Android. So now this is a key feature you have to keep in mind for the platform. What is interesting in Kern service platform and Kern IoT suite is that the full package is available in SaaS, of course, but you can also host the complete solution in your private cloud or on-premise on your own server. If you want to start and sell new services, you can start today with the platform. So it's very easy to deploy. You have public libraries of devices and use cases. So it helps you to go fast and sell new services. What is interesting is that it's a multi-seat application. So you can have one single platform for all your installation at the same time, one login for all your installation. And then you can create some levels and give access right for each levels of a tree view, for example. It's not only to collect data and to monitor data, but also to control your devices. So you can start your device, change some settings, so you can control everything thanks to E1 and to Karen. There is a mass deployment tool for very large projects. It's most of the time it's useful for LP1 devices. One more thing very interesting, it's a multi-tenant solution. So you can create contract, subcontract for each customer, and for each customer there is one database for each one. And if you want to provide a white label solution for end customer, you can do on your own. That is very interesting. So you can have a main subscription for you, and you can create subcontract for your customers in white label. There is no expensive license cost to start. So it's mainly like a pay-as-you-go business. So it's a business model. So it's very interesting. At this time, there is 7 languages already including in the platform. And if you want to add a new one, it's very easy. Just Excel file we have to translate. There is a REST API if you want to connect to a third-party application. So sometimes it could be interesting for maintenance application, for ERP, CRM, etc., etc. It's not only a platform, but an IoT suite with the studio, IoT platform, and the mobile app. And of course, the white label feature, it's very, very interesting. So you can communicate under your own brand thanks to the white label feature. So now let's have a look on the business model. So we can talk about 3 cases. The first one is if you want to use public use case in the library, you just have to subscribe to Karen Service Platform. So you will have a yearly subscription per device connected according to the quantity of data you expect to collect from the gateway. The second level, if you want to create your specific dashboard on your own, mainly for system integrators, you can buy the studio. It's a yearly subscription, including supports, training, and to access to public libraries, and to create your private libraries. So this is the second way to start with Karen. And the last one, it's you want, for example, you are a machine builder and you want the end-to-end solution. So you can ask for Karen design. And we have some partners all over the world, like Axom in Benelux, is distributor and integrator, and he can manage a full project from the gateways, from the E1 through the to the platform. So it's very interesting because you can have very quickly end-to-end solution you can start to sell to your customer. And for other countries, we have other system integrators and distributor partners. And for other countries, we can ask us directly, and we can provide end-to-end solution from IIoThink. So this is the business model and how we can start with Karen. You can start on your own, or you need some help from partners or IIoThink. So thank you all for your attention. So now you know how to deploy an end-to-end solutions thanks to E1 and Karen very easily, very quickly, and with a very low startup investment. We can, of course, help you to make the right choices for your project by selecting the right E1, the right connectivity, etc., etc. And if you are from Benelux, don't hesitate to contact Christophe. For other countries, you can ask me, and I will forward to the right partner locally, or we will manage your project on our own. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Julien. Thank you very much, Christophe and Horst. Now it's time to switch to the Q&A session. We have very little time remaining, but I think so far we don't have many questions. If you have questions, you still have time to ask them, so use the chat. We have a question here from Gerald. What are the plans for 5G for E1? Is there a difference for public 5G or campus networks? So I think in this case, I will let Horst answer this question.
Yeah, thank you for the question. As I mentioned in the first part, that HMS is on the 4 front of new technology and connectivity, and we have a lab working on these kind of connectivity solutions. We already have a ready, I would say, ready industrial 5G devices. They are currently tested by German Telekom because they provide the network and we provide the hardware. So you will see products coming up. Your question concerning the difference between the 5G public and on campus, I'm not a specialist, but I'm absolutely sure we are an industrial that we will support both. I suspect maybe first the local one, but I can't tell you. But for E1 plans, so once 5G is relevant in our market for remote access and connectivity, you can be sure that you will see a solution coming up from HMS, maybe in the combination with other products or as an extension card. We'll see what will come, but we are on it.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Horst, for your answer. We have a second question here from Vincent. He's asking if they can have a copy of the slides that were presented today. So the answer is a yes. You will receive anyway after the webinar a newsletter. So just keep in mind that you will receive it in the next few days. And you'll definitely receive the presentation slides afterwards, or you can see them as well on the internet. We'll provide the information if you need to have a look at this anyway. Okay, let's see if other people have questions. Any additional question from anyone? Let's see. Wait for, oh yeah, we have another question here. Okay, just feedback from Ronald. So he didn't see the answers of the survey. Okay. And he's thanking us for the webinar. Thank you very much, Ronald. So I don't know if you guys want to display the answers of the poll, so we can surely have a look at that. Okay, so the first question we have, what is your level of maturity in IIoT and M2M? Most of people replied with they are already deploying an IIoT M2M project, and also an important amount of people answered they are just started to think about it. Then 50% they are already looking for a partner. Second question, what is the best issue the audience is currently facing? Most of them, they need to find the right business model. 22% need to find the right partner. 16% have difficulties to calculate their return on investment. And then we'll still have a decent amount of people who have a time issue. They need a quick solution to address for the time to market. And 5.6% have a security concern. So let's go to the next question. Type of professional. Most of the people are system integrators, 50%. 36.4 are actually a different type of professional in the industry. We have 4.5% who are machine builder, 4.5 service contractor, and 4.5 who work for a rental company. Last question. People prefer to be contacted back by the next 3 months. It's actually kind of divided in 3 more or less equal parts. So 33.3% by the next 6 months and still a third immediately. Okay, so we can see that there is definitely a lot of demand for IIoT and M2M solutions. All right, so I'm just gonna switch back. You still have time for questions, but real quick, because we are reaching the end of this webinar. Thank you for your for attending this masterclass, and thank you for your attention all along the webinar. I think, Horst, if you want to talk about maybe the last part, the last slide.
Yes, if you want to. So many thanks for attending the webinar. So don't miss the other ones. Yeah. So we have with OSIsoft, it doesn't overlap really with IoThink, because IOSoft is very focusing on managing the data, time series database, etc. And they could be a very good data source also for an IoT platform like IoThink. So you can learn a lot how you have to handle data and how this works also for large installations. So I would recommend really to participate. Thank you very much again.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
for your attention.
Bye. Tschüss.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, and have a good day all. Thanks again for attending the event.